Sub everyone, casual talk here. Money is the number one source that we need to get by in society, especially in order for us to survive. Without money, you have no access to food and resources such as medicine, clothes, food, shelter. You don't have access to none of these things without money. And now we're in a day and age where in 2023 and going forward, majority of people in this world is struggling financially. And most people is not going to make it. The average Joe, average Jane is not going to have a career. It's just the way things are. And it's also because a lot of people are lazy. There's a lot of people who are brought up into unfortunate circumstances, and there are people who grew up in poverty areas and they just choose not to push themselves or further progress in getting out from a poverty area because they have that mindset. So a lot of these people get so used to that lifestyle, they go to the government to help them out. If the government was non-existent right now today, most people would be struggling right now and they would have no choice but to make ends meet. There would be people fighting to get a job, fighting to get that career, that role. Money is truly the motivator. But if you keep enabling bad behaviors, right? And you don't further allow people to grow or progress in life, most people are going to get comfortable. They're going to be lazy and they're going to set themselves up for failure, and they're going to set their children up for failure as well. It's normal for adults now in 2023 to live with their parents because of the lack of options and job opportunities that they have, especially after graduating college. This is why you have to have more than money. You have to have the resources. You have to know the right people. You have to have the credentials. You have to have the right networks, know the right people, have the right credentials. You have to know what you're doing. You have to do a lot more in order to get more. If you don't do so much or you do subpar, you're going to wake up one day and realize, crap, I'm struggling. I'm trying to make ends meet. I'm trying to pay my rent on time. And there's people who are living above their means because they want to live a lifestyle and sacrifice their financial freedom to put themselves in debt and drown themselves in debt. And when they're stuck in a situation where they can't afford to pay that debt off, then they're stuck, depressed. In many cases, people would turn to drinking, prostitution, or even suicide. Many divorces today and relationships are ending because of money. There's a lot of women who are more financially stable, more than men in 2023. But then most people, the average Joe, is not making a lot of money, like the career individual. This is just straight up facts. You could do your research. There was an article that I recently read about a mom who thought, being the fact that she's Gen X, that she is believing that, oh, times is going to still be the same. My kids could work hard and get a career, and they could get on by, get their apartment, get their house, and then they're going to be fine. No, it doesn't work like that no more. She even admitted it. And I'm going to link this article in the comment sections down below for all of you to see, and I'm going to put it in the description box. A Gen X mom saying that times has changed. times has changed. And it's not just America that's affected. Japan, Thailand, Korea, India, South America, Canada. Inflation is on the rise everywhere. Inflation is on the rise everywhere. And because of that, more things is now in demand, and they're cutting costs on certain products, which is going to equal to a limited time, a limited stock on certain products. And now that's going to end up eventually turning into a market or a price and demand where they decrease the size and production of certain foods, and they increase the prices on them at the exact same time because the demand of those foods now is a lot higher, because a lot of companies now are being hurt financially as well. So they also have to increase the price and taxes on the food items because of the effect of inflation. America has a huge debt bubble. If you look up the website, thedebtclock.org, you could see how much debt America owes. It's because of the past presidents. The past presidents giving out free money, printing out free money. You could be and drown in debt for so long until you actually suffer, and then the next people behind you, they now have to carry that debt. And it's not right for now America to hold on and wait, has that burden of your debt, because at the same time you also suffer financially with your credit score and things of that nature. And now people with so much college or student loan debt, right? Now a lot of these debt collectors, they can have the right to garnish your wages and take your money when you're working, when you're trying to get that paycheck. And now even working off the books is becoming obsolete. God is our source, yes, but when it comes down to the real world, being alive here today, you need a lot of money in order for you to live comfortably. In order for you to live comfortably, afford family vacations, and still have money left over, right? You need to have the right career, live in a low cost area, and also live in an area where you're not living above your means. Too many young people that are coming up, the Gen Zs, etc., right? They want to live above their means to fit some narrative lifestyle. I mean, the fact that they're growing up into social media like TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, you name it, right? They want to be the next big thing, be the next big icon. And it's quite sad. Struggling right now at the age of 30, me and my wife are both in college. We have 2 kids, and things are expensive. It's a blessing right now that I even have one job to cover for majority of my bills, and I can still have some money left over to save. But because of my debt, it is holding me back. It truly is, and I don't want that burden on my kids as well. I don't want that burden on them. It's hard to get by today. If it's bad right now in 2023, imagine 10 years from now in 2033 or 2042 or 2053. People are not thinking about the future. They're thinking about the moments. They're thinking about wasting their money. They're thinking about partying hard, study later, just living life in la la land. Like nothing's going to happen. Like everyone's going to be all right. That there could be a time, a few years from now, you could be evicted from your apartment. You could be kicked out of your house. You could lose your job and you don't have no savings to back you up because you spent it on drinking, smoking weed, partying, and wasting your money on traveling and trying to live a lifestyle above your means. There's a lot of superficial people out there and people who are irresponsible and people who does not understand how finances work. They didn't study the job market. There's a lot of people out there who does not understand how money works. They don't understand the statistics, and the amount of time and work it takes for people to even make over $100,000 to $200,000 a year. The audacity and disrespect as well that women would have to think that many men out there is even making that kind of money is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Only the 1% of men in the whole population in this world, this time today, is making over two, three, 400, $500,000 alone, not with your partner, not with your spouse, but alone by yourself. A man at the age in his early 20s, the average Joe, the majority, 70, 80% of men, 90% of men making over $100,000 to $200,000. Are you crazy? Unless you want him to bust his behind and do multiple jobs and he's never home to see the kids. Money is not everything. Money is not. It comes with a lot of burning and a lot of work. The thing that people are missing today is the quality of life. You have to make sacrifices in order to make things happen. Everything is not going to go your way. This culture, this fast moving economy, a lot of people in America are so spoiled and entitled. They believe things should just happen now in the blink of an eye, but they don't understand the amount of work that their parents had to put in for them to actually be where they're at today. It's crazy to me. I'm going to teach my kids about networking, financial stability, and how serious it is once you're on your 2 feet and you're living on your own. It's no joke. You could be a few paychecks away from being homeless. It's not a game. It's not a game. Me and my wife are both in college to enter the healthcare field. You don't think we're thinking smart? Of course we both are. We're going for careers that are stable because the healthcare field has many job opportunities that they need career-driven people, and they make it difficult for people to get into the healthcare field in certain positions because you're dealing with someone's life. You have to even have the character to even enter certain jobs because some people that are in stuff for the money. It's not your job position is not going to last very long, and you lose your nursing license. If you're a nurse, then guess what? You're broke. You wasn't sure about yourself. You was only paying attention to the money. People really needs to get a career that's in demand, and they also need to understand where the career that you're getting into, you have to be honest with yourself. Can I handle it? Am I going to be happy? Am I going to be financially set? Money is the root of a lot of relationships and divorces happening today, and the reason why most people, not all, but many people today, rather remain single than get married and struggle. There are many adults right now that are still living with their parents or living with a family, and it's getting so bad where you now have people who are in their 40s and 50s living with roommates. It's not just major cities that are becoming more expensive. It's rural areas and suburban areas as well. The rent has increased where I'm at right now in South Carolina. Yeah. You think I want to do 2 jobs? You think I want to work a lot of hours, work overtime, just to have some money saved up? Nobody wants to do that. But in order for you to make it, you have to struggle, and it's normal to struggle. There's times I still have to go to the government for help in order just to get by. It hurts. But if I didn't have the option to go to the government, I would be on my own completely. It would be me and my wife, and we would push to make it. That would push us even more because we would have no other options. But I'm thinking smart, and I'm thinking what's ahead in the future, because what's going to be ahead can get worse from here on out. And it's sad that majority of people is not going to listen. If you want to struggle, hey, do you. Keep living in the moment and wasting your money. Nobody's not going to hold your hand when you're over the age of 20 or 30 years old and you're living on your own. Nobody's not going to hold your hand after a while. This is the real world. It's brutal out here. People are going to tell you like it is. No, it's time for you to grow up. You want to be a single, independent woman? You want to be strong and independent as a man? You got to step up. It comes with sacrifices. It comes with a lot of time. It comes with a lot of work and a lot of pressure. I understand there's many women out there who just wants to settle down, but most cases you have no choice but to even work for yourselves as well, because of how times are and how difficult it even is to even find a man who's making over $100,000 a year. Most of those men are married, or they just don't want to be in a relationship. Relationships and marriages in general, just to be married is very hard. I believe the end goal should be marriage, not in a relationship, because when you're in a relationship, you have a reason to walk out. Marriage is a serious thing because it's a vow and a contract between a husband and a wife with God in the center of the marriage. But how the way the world sees it, that's not where the priorities is at today. It's getting bad. Look at Japan and Korea. It's the same thing that's happening in certain countries as well. Just like America. There's a birth decline. There's a marriage decline. But people are still having sex, living in fornication, shacking up, doing what they want to do, and they're struggling at the exact same time and just getting by in life like there's no care for tomorrow. There's a lot of things that is not that is out of our control. Yes, there's a lot of things that is out of our control, but you could also control on where your life is going to end up. If you have that option to take charge and do that. I believe in God. I believe God can give many people a chance. I believe in putting God first, that things can happen. Who are you going to serve? At the end of the day, people need to realize something. You only have one life. You only have one life. You do not want to be 50, 60 years old, struggling, trying to make ends meet, living with mom and pop, or even living with roommates in financial debt, especially for people who chose to put themselves in that situation because they're listening to all these trends and their friends and stuff. Like your friend is going to be helping you pay your bills. Like your friends is going to always be there when it's time for you to pay your rent. Sure, things happen, but if you have the opportunity to be smart and move smart, do yourself a favor and do what you're supposed to do. The world does not care in the end of the day. This is the reality for both men and women. You have to do what you can to survive. God gave you the resources, take them for what it is and move smart out here. Whatever you decide to do with your money and your choices and your time, you're going to be responsible for it. You face those consequences, that's going to be on you, not no one else. That's all I got to say. Casual talk here. Peace out. Let me know what you think.